brings the laughter, keeps us rolling along. David's in the corner, sipping soda with a grin. Dustin's got the stories, let the chaos begin. Take a breath, we're here to unwind. Even when it's crazy, it's a good time. Calm down, it's fine, take it step by step. We're sitting on the couch, laughing with the missteps. Cam, David, and Dustin, guiding our ride. Embrace the absurd, let the good vibes collide.
Yeah.
Thoughts collide.
Welcome back to the Calm Down It's Fine podcast, episode 128.
David, take two.
We
started recording,
and
I
Cameron
said
ruined
some
it immediately.
stupid
Yeah.
things, and I
Yes.
said you have to edit this, and he goes, "Well, let's just restart."
So
Hey,
here we are.
Dustin, what did your dog do?
She was laying in her bed like 2 days ago, and she was like asleep. We think maybe, or she was just too lazy to get up, and she
Sneaking out.
just peed. She couldn't. Yeah, she could get out. She just peed everywhere, like in her sleep, all over herself, all over her bed. It was
2 days ago.
Over her bed, so it wasn't your bed.
No.
Bro.
2 days ago.
Yep.
So why did you have to leave just now?
Because we've just kind of kept her like in the kennel and outside.
She can't be
So
trusted.
she just washed her today, and then I had to take the old towel out of the kennel, put the new, because that one's all so contaminated, with not beyond repair. I had to put the new towel in there, and then it was just a process.
You should have yelled in there. What's wrong with your two hands?
I think some would call that meddling.
Yeah, I would have to go. I don't even think I'd be allowed to sleep outside. I think I'd have to
Heavy
go
meddling.
like to a different street or something.
Come to my house. Say your brother.
You.
Say your brother's on my side.
Goodbye.
Oh, she can hear. She can't hear me, right?
Well, she's nosy, so of course she can't
I'm
hear
real
you.
tough. I'm real tough on this side of the camera. I'm real tough.
You're making it. Just go.
So,
You're crazy.
Tell her
So
tell
how-
her to go work on my logo.
Cameron said go work on his logo.
What do
And
you
work
got a
on the
logo
church
for?
shirts.
And the church shirts.
Indirectly, I'm kind of her boss.
Indirectly, he's kind of your boss.
Oh, now he's preaching.
She just
Um,
she just made a face. I can't hear you. Oh, she said I quit.
oh, is that a? Would that be considered
Well,
a church split?
Also, I can't do anything without you. So indirectly, you're my boss.
He said he also can't do anything without you, so indirectly you're his boss. She said I'm not a good one.
All right,
So how you boys been?
good, David.
Anyway,
How have you been?
I've been pretty good myself.
How's the pregnant wifey?
She's doing good. Our baby, according to her app, is the size of an acorn squash.
why,
Okay,
they
when you
use
said
such-
acorn, I was like, okay, this baby's gonna be real small.
yeah.
And then you said squash.
Acorn squash.
That is- Can't they use something that's more like of a
You
normal
can pick whatever
measurement?
you want on the app. You can pick balls. You can pick
I had to
fruit.
Google-
You can pick
yeah, I had to
toys.
I
Google
want to
what
know.
acorn
I want to
squash
know
was.
the size of my child and how many handfuls of rocks.
You heard it here first. Dustin's having a
Wow.
kid.
Amen. Finally.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, no. Nikki's doing good. I finally got to feel the baby kick,
Yes.
which was
She's about what?
which was
28 weeks.
Weird. It was so like this thing was happening constantly where like Nikki would be like, she's kicking, and then I would try to feel, and then the baby would be like, nah, bro, not for you.
I feel like that's.
And that happened.
Reminiscent
That
of
happened
you.
every day, and then finally last night I got to feel her kick, and it felt weird. But
Yeah, it definitely is. You don't feel the baby for a long time. She's feeling it like 24/7, but they always stop moving. Just always.
Yeah,
What if it's not the baby kicking, it's the baby punching? Like, get me out of here.
It can be, yeah,
it could
for
be
sure.
possibly. Well, when we did the first like when we did like the
Or
first like
headbanging.
we did like the first ultrasound like to get the pictures of the baby and stuff like that. She was like in there just fist pumping. She was like, and I was like, what is wrong with our kid? And I was,
Getting into Kendrick Lamar.
hmm?
Kendrick Lamar.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
Well,
Um,
if she's
that's
listening to
football.
him, it's not from my speakers.
Nikki.
Bad influence.
Naughty Nikki.
But you guys just had a youth rally.
We did.
Yeah, we did. It seemed to go well. We'll see in eternity, though, what happened.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
It was good. There was a lot of. It
Very
was our
good.
biggest year numerically.
You guys
How
are
many did
packed
we
out.
have? We had to have had over 200, right?
There was almost 400, Dustin.
Really?
We probably had around 350, probably over 350.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
because
it
we
was
had 180 or 90 signed up.
Right.
That's nobody from our church. And then I know, like, one group brought like 15 extra,
we
and there
brought
was
20
probably
and
50
we
or
weren't.
60.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was like 50 or 60 people that I saw that didn't sign up. Oh yeah,
Right,
like the
right,
10
right.
people who drove out in the car who almost got hit. We'll tell that story. Like
Yeah.
they didn't sign up. I mean,
Yeah.
there was 240 chairs. They were all filled,
Which was
and then
awesome
none of our
to
church
be
people
on.
were in there.
Which was awesome to be on Cameron's like short list of people he loves because Cameron called me Friday morning and was like, "Give me a general head count. I'll save you seats." And he saved us 2 rows, and I was like, "Oh, I love this man."
Yeah, it's not a big sanctuary, so
But
you really gotta.
it was great, man. You had some one of my you had some of my favorite preachers in there. And Jason Garner, he's one of my all-time
he's
faves.
great.
Love that guy.
He did good.
Yeah, it was. All the messages are really, really good.
Brother Charlie crushed it.
Yeah, he did.
So did Paul.
It was a good week, and we had a dodgeball tournament. Not really a tournament, but dodgeball, volleyball tournament. That was fun. It was good. Friday night though was pretty crazy. It was around like 11:30.
And I left approximately 5 minutes before all of this happened.
Yeah, and just a little bit of back, like, not that this is inherently important, but we already had some pretty major issues
Yeah,
earlier on. Our septic backed up in the middle of the service, so no one could go to the bathroom, and we had it had already been an eventful evening. Anyway, continue.
The septic backed up, and the whole foyer of the hallway of the church
Flooded.
was not the foyer, but the hallway where the
Yeah.
2 bathrooms were flooded with poo water.
We don't know whose yet.
I could smell it in the sanctuary.
Still
Can
being
confirm
tested.
was not me. Still being tested.
We need to know, like, who is responsible.
We got samples from everybody before they left.
Yeah. Ooh. No, thank you.
But
Yeah.
the night got even crazier than that.
Yeah. So then I was I put my wife and the kids in their car. It was about 11:20, and I said, "I'll be right behind you. Love you." Kissed them all. They drive out the driveway. I do a few more things. Get in my truck. Start driving out the driveway. Call my dad. I was like, "Hey, there's still people at the church. There's like 100 people at the church, but I was like, just getting out of there because I wanted to help her put the kids to bed because it was already a long day." So I call Dad, and I'm driving out the driveway, and I see Samson Ryman and the Millers. They were giving Joe his birthday presents or whatever, but they had the trunk of their car open in the parking lot, and they were all standing in a circle, but they were all praying, and I was like waving, and I'm like, this is weird. Why are they praying? Like at a prayer meeting, like whatever. So there was like 2 or 3 cars lined up in our driveway that weren't going out, and I'm just driving, and I drive right up to the entrance, and I look to my left, and there's a man in the road So I get out, and a lady from our church runs up and says, "I think it's the Cruises. I think it's the Cruises." And I said, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "There's a wreck." And I looked over in the van. The Cruises are those people with the triplets.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh my word!" And I looked at the van. I'm like, "That's not the Cruises van." And I go run over to this guy in the road. I said, "What happened?" There was cars all over the road, so I wasn't sure what was going on. He goes, "This guy pulled out in front of me, and there's a dead guy over there." And I look to my right, and like 100 yards away, there's a car on its flipped.
Yep.
And he's like freaking out, rightfully so. And all I could see was it was like a dark car. So he's talking, and I grab him. I was like, "Listen to me. Listen to me. Did that car come out of the church?" And he goes, "No." I'm like, "Okay." Because I look over there, and I see like 3 bodies laying in the grass.
Mm-hmm.
And there was cars.
You want to
who had
make sure
seen
you
it.
don't know who they are before you walk
I
over
just wanted to
there.
make sure it wasn't my wife.
Right.
And I
No,
wanted to
yeah,
make
that's what I
sure
mean.
it
Like,
wasn't someone from the youth rally.
that's got it.
Because the
Like,
first thing
Yeah.
I heard was there's Dad's still on the phone. I said, "Dad, you got to get up here."
this
So
does. I hope this doesn't sound insensitive to anybody who's
No, I
listening.
told
but
everyone. I was like,
like, if
I had
it's
to make sure first.
Right.
it's way easier to be level-headed about a situation like that when you're not looking at people you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So as I'm talking to him, I finish this conversation, and Josiah and Tyler Campbell run up, and Josiah goes, "What happened?" And the guy gives him the whole spiel, and then at the end of it, he says, "I think there's a dead guy over there." And Josiah goes, "Why didn't you say that first? I'm CPR certified." And so he runs over there, and I run with him. But this has been 20 seconds, and I'm trying to wrap my head around all this.
Yeah.
There was people over there who had seen it happen, who got out. So I run over there. First thing I see is a 6-year-old boy on the ground. I don't know when you got there, Dustin. You can just fill in whenever.
I got
There's a
there
6-year-old
way
boy in his
after you.
pajamas. 6-year-old boy in his pajamas sitting in the grass. There is a man wedged in this car. You couldn't tell what kind of car it was. It was a Ford Edge. I later found out. He was completely. You couldn't even see him. You had to walk up and look in the car, and he was completely like smashed in the car. He was alive, and one of our guys from the church, a former Marine, was talking to him and holding his hand. I walk around the car, and laying 30 yards from the car is this man who looked like he took 30 hits of a steel aluminum bat to the face. Like, he's just laying on his side, and he's not breathing.
Mm.
Josiah runs over to him and Tyler, and there was a couple guys there with him, but they didn't know what to do. His face was just, you couldn't see his face. Like, there's blood. Josiah and Tyler lean him over, and they do CPR, and they get him breathing. Well, there's 3 or 4 guys around him, so I run over to this other person who is that guy's girlfriend, who was 8 months pregnant, and she's laying there screaming. And so I just stayed with her and held her hand and talked to her and tried to comfort her. And look, and her eyes are wild, and she keeps screaming, "My baby, my baby." And I just kept saying to her, "Love you, honey." I kept saying to her, "Look, your baby's okay." The baby's name was Brooklyn. Her name was Savannah. And I'm just rubbing her head, holding her arm, trying. I felt the baby moving, like I felt it.
right.
Speaking of babies moving, so I kept telling her, "Your baby's gonna be fine. Your baby's gonna be fine." But it took, I felt like, so long for the ambulance to get there. And I later
It
found
does.
out there was another bad wreck on 404.
Mm.
Yep.
So I got her. They get the guy breathing. We're trying to stabilize this girl. Whatever. Her hip we found out her hip was broken. I don't know what else was wrong. Finally, a state trooper flies up. I run over there. I was like, we just got him breathing again. Ambulance come up, whatever. I tried to fill him in as much as I could with whatever information I had. But they ended up bringing 2 state helicopters in from Maryland, landing them on our church lawn, and flying that guy and the girl out on 2 separate helicopters. There was 5 adults in that Ford Edge, and the 6-year-old was in the back of the car in the hatch. When I walked past that car, I've never smelled weed and alcohol like I've smelled, dude. It was terrible.
No doubt.
The driver, I never even saw the driver until about 20 minutes later. He's meandering around. He was looking for his gold chain that he lost.
That's crazy.
Looking around. He was drunk as a skunk. He walked up to the guy on the ground who was dead and said, he was driving.
Yeah.
Like, he said, oh, yeah, like he was lying, but then the kid said he was driving. And the other two guys who were fine, they were like in neck braces. They said he was driving. And it was just,
That's crazy.
I mean, it was crazy, dude. And I walk over to the guy who was driving the van. What happened was, if you're at our driveway, there was cars coming, but they were like 75 yards away, 100 yards. So the guy had plenty of time to pull out and turn into his lane. Well, as he pulled out and turned, this car was passing on a double line, going 100 miles an hour. So he was going to hit this guy head on.
Mm-hmm.
So that guy actually was able to pop it in reverse and back up a little bit before, and the guy swerved, went into a ditch, and just. But yeah, there was about 100 people at the church. 75 teens are just sitting there watching these helicopters and these people getting hauled off.
Yeah, I think I had left like 10 minutes before that.
It was terrible.
And yeah, we had no idea, which was yeah. I got to the
And all I
church
could
Saturday
think-
morning, and
I had no idea how many cars it was because there were so many cars lined up around the road, and it was just, it's dark. Like, it's dark. You know what I mean? You can't see. There's not like a fire.
yeah,
Jesus.
I
Dustin
had no
pulled up
idea
the,
what was going on. I had no idea how many cars or how many people. Oh, it was horrifying.
Dustin pulled up the Google Maps of
Yeah,
where
can you
the
see it?
church is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this
So obviously,
long-
like, so they had come out of here, and there was a car coming that was farther down, and they were, oh, we have time. But then the car behind it, you can see my mouse moving, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And this car was flying, already trying to pass.
Yep.
Then this car that was coming out was like, oh, I am not going to make it. Backed up by the grace of God. The other car swerved to miss it, and then hit this embankment, up, rolled like a billion
Yep.
times, and then was
Oh, that's
Right
wild,
smushed.
dude.
It was literally here.
Right there.
And let me tell you how bad I feel in that I had no idea any of this had happened at all until like probably 10 or 15 minutes after it did happen. Because
Right.
I was in the gym. I didn't hear any of this.
First of all, Dustin, when I drove up, I thought I was driving up on something that had been transpiring for 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It wasn't until later I realized, oh, it happened 30 seconds before I drove up. Because when I drove up, I was like, there was people already over there. I'm like, all right, it's under control. I'm going to talk to this guy. But it was still, there was no one laying
Yeah.
with this lady in the grass. It was like,
Well,
oh, this
and
just happened.
it just felt weird because like, I mean, obviously not in this kind of setting, but I've been through a similar situation, and I'm combat lifesaver certified. So
Ooh.
not that I know, pretty amazing. Anyway, not that that was
Crazy.
But it was like, but
I feel like I
my
should
all
have
of it. And my
called
point
more
is,
people, but
I was in the gym and I was cleaning stuff up, and I was like, I checked all the rooms to see how many kids were left. I talked to Micah and Kaz, and then Kaz looks out the window and is like, I think I hear a siren, and that's when I walked out.
Okay.
And
Yeah, that
Like, they
had been
were-
happening
like,
15 minutes before.
yeah, the Rymans and the Millers were already done praying. They were all standing in a line, looking down the driveway, and there was we saw a line of cars, and I was like, "What happened? Like, why is everyone still here?" And I walked up to them, got the gist of the story, and by the time I got to the car, there was people already with the car, with the woman, with like all this stuff had already happened. I walked over there to see if anyone needed help. But I mean, everything was really. I would have just been. in the
Friday
way.
night was just a wild night
I
because I almost got ran off the road by a tanker on my way to your church.
Oh.
I was on 9 Foot Road, and right before you get to the end of 9 Foot Road to turn onto the road where your church
Yeah.
is, we were coming around that bend. I had 2 teenagers in the truck with me, and tanker just driving down the wrong side of the road around the bend.
Yeah, that one's crazy.
And I was
Yeah.
like, and literally, I mean, luckily, like, I was in the Bronco, so I was like, which is an off-roading vehicle, so I just
So I could
just aimed
fly
for
off the
grass.
road into
Yeah,
the.
I was just like, I hit the brakes and I just aimed for the grass, and I was like, if I have to drive into the grass, like, the Bronco will be fine, like I can handle
Right.
that. But like I hit the horn, I yanked the wheel to the side of the road, and then I saw him like correct to get on the right side of the road, and I was like, what in the world was that?
Yeah.
Like, the kids,
It's like,
I had
it's
the kids in
surprising
the
to see another car on a very sharp bend.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like
Yeah,
that's
dude.
when you pay attention, dude.
And I was like, and like the kids that were in the truck with me, like they were screaming. Ah! I mean, it was just like a full blown tanker just coming at us. I was like, well, I was like, as long as like I said, I was in the Bronco, I could hit the off road. As long as I don't hit a tree, I'll make it. Like, I'm good to go. So, but yeah, Friday was a wild night.
It was
I guess.
wild. A lot happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, the preaching
the,
was
the
phenomenal.
van that pulled out. He had 8 children,
Mm.
and it was a guy from Brother Tim Black's church. He might have been there when you were there. But yeah, he was pretty shook up, dude. Like,
Yeah, how could you not be?
I
yeah,
prayed
of
with him. He had a
course.
2-hour ride. I was like, look, we'll get you a hotel room.
Of course, you shook up.
Um,
You might have just watched a bunch of people die.
Yeah, but I tell you, dude, when I grabbed him and was like, listen to me. Was that car, or is anyone from the church? Because I still didn't know how many cars. Is anyone come out of here? Is that anyone like? He's like, I think we're all okay. I'm like, okay.
Right,
But I'm
dude,
like,
that's
dude,
terrifying.
I mean, and then I've never felt the weirdness of. He said, "There's someone over there dead." Like running up there, I was like, "Oh man, I'm
Yeah,
not trying
dude.
to see
Nobody.
this."
Yeah, that's
And if he's dead and he's 40 yards away from his car, I'm not. So I really had to like psych myself up to even walk right up to the guy because I was like,
yeah,
I'm not trying to see someone's neck broke. Like,
Yeah.
for sure.
But I don't know what. I think he did have a neck. Something. His neck was broke. He was level 1 head trauma. That's what they said.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I mean, I don't know how it wouldn't be,
But I
especially
tell you
getting
what,
ejected like that.
Josiah was.
Yeah, that was
Josiah and Tyler
incredible.
Were the men.
Yeah.
I mean, they did
Yeah,
incredible.
you'll have to keep us posted on like follow
Well,
up.
I know they were from the article they put out. It says 2 people were in serious condition or seriously injured, but I don't think anyone died. I guess the baby didn't die. They would have posted that.
Why
Right.
is this
But
not doing?
what was cool was a whole bunch of paramedics ended up coming there, and ambulance or whatever. And there was a lot of people, church people, around at that point. Like, and so the paramedics were like, "Everyone, back up, please back up." There it is. But Josiah and Tyler did such a good job. They stayed right with that guy the entire time. It was just 2 other guys with them. Tyler and Josiah helped them on the stretcher. Tyler and Josiah brought the stretcher to the ambulance. Like, they were letting them help. It was cool.
Where? Yeah, right here.
And then Saturday morning we had a really good service.
Yeah, dude, everybody's fired up. Josiah started preaching, man.
Straight preaching.
He did.
Yeah,
I was like, "Woo!"
this man about to bring on the next
Yeah.
revival in America. He was.
Interestingly enough, Josiah broke his foot tonight at youth.
Yeah,
group.
he did.
And
And he's in the hospital now.
He thought
yeah,
he broke it. We were doing punt, pass, and kick. Because we have the football field at the church, and we had 2 teams. And one team, the guy punts it as far as he can. Whoever catches it throws it as far as they can, and wherever it lands, you have to try to kick a field goal from there. So Josiah was kicking a field goal, and he had his shoes off, and his foot drugged the ground. And it actually didn't break, but his foot was like that big,
Oh, I believe it.
and he tore tendons in the front of his foot.
No, which is actually
I know.
which is
Terrible.
actually
Can be
worse. It's actually worse.
So
Um,
prayers up, bro.
Yeah. Unrelated, because I want to get to the topic, but there was something I wanted to bring up to see what your reactions were to this. Steven Crowder coming out of retirement.
Yes, I saw that.
Today was the day.
Did you see the clip? he
Because
put
Charlie,
out?
I didn't watch any of it yet.
Is he, when you say out of retirement, you mean just back to campuses?
Yep.
Yes.
So Charlie Kirk openly gave Steven Crowder like his credit, because Steven Crowder years ago started the
He
Change
started
My
that
Mind.
with Change
Change
My
My
Mind.
Mind,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Charlie, and he stopped and he said, I don't know if you guys saw the video, but he like started crying in the video because he said that Charlie Kirk gave him credit, was like the inspiration for him starting to go to college
Yeah.
campuses and stuff like that. And Steven Crowder was like, I never told him how dangerous it was, like how many death threats I got. and he was like, and he was like, I can't help but think that maybe if I had been a little more open and honest about that, maybe it could have made some kind of I guess
Yeah.
it's some
Steven
sort of
Crowder is a big enough name and has a big enough following that like he's the only other guy that I think has the same amount of punch
Oh,
that could draw a
yes.
crowd
Yeah.
the difference is the delivery between the two. Like
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk was well polished, and
yeah, but Steven Crowder's
Steven
very
Crowder
smart. I've never
is
seen
super
Steven
smart.
Crowder
And that's
get one
what's
up.
no,
Yeah,
no. And I followed Steven Crowder from the very beginning. Like
But-
back in the days of him doing it in a room in his house with
right.
just
But
one
he
other dude.
he I haven't watched the video because it's almost 2 hours long.
Yeah.
But he came
The-
out of retirement, and his first thing is the left is violent. Changed my mind.
Yeah.
And so he's out of retirement. He's bringing it back in honor of,
Yeah.
of Charlie Kirk.
And this would actually be something that would probably be. Usually those are relatively wholesome videos. I stopped watching and listening to his stuff a couple years ago because it used to be family friendly and you could listen to it with anybody. There was no language.
Steven Crowder did go through a fall from grace in the public's
Yes.
eye. I that's probably about the time where I fell off of him too. But
Yeah.
I mean, but it's still interesting that you've got him coming out of the college campus retirement.
Can I give you a theory I have? And this is pure conjecture. But
Erica Kirk killed Charlie.
stop. No.
That's
Not that- it's not-
wild.
no,
What a
that's
take.
dumb.
Nope, that's the title of this episode.
Stop. No, don't do that. No, this is what I think.
Charlie
you-
Kirk's producer.
If you listen to early Steven Crowder and you listen to like Charlie Kirk, a very, very, very similar
Yeah.
approach, like just in how they're spoken, how they carry themselves, very similar countenance, incredible. And then with what Steven Crowder was doing, I really believe, and this is, I mean, this might not be true. Who cares? Anyway, that I think that was what God wanted Steven Crowder to do, but he lost fellowship with God. I really mean that, and I think that should have been his ministry, but he wasn't doing it the way God wanted him to do it, so he took it from him and gave it to Charlie. I really believe that.
Do you think it was because of his toxic relationship?
I think that's a lot. Yeah.
It probably
Have you
has
seen
a-
that? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
think
yeah.
that's why he started beating his wife?
Wow.
I don't think he was beating her. I think it was just verbal abuse. He only
Beating her with words.
with words.
She doesn't beat, like Pastor Clark says. He says the lady told him he doesn't beat me up. He beats me down. With his words.
I think that Charlie was probably better at reaching young people. He was a younger guy, and I think he was a little bit more clear
That's-
when he
yeah.
spoke. But
Dustin, I have no problem with what you said.
you know, I think you probably onto something because he was very effective when he started it, and then there was a fall.
I remember.
The fall from grace, if you will,
Yeah.
in the
I
public's eye.
will
Like-
agree with that if he's not Catholic. Is he Catholic?
Nope. He is
No.
not at all. He's against Catholics.
Okay.
Same.
Because if he's Catholic, he's not saved.
I really believe Steven Crowder saved 100%.
Hail Mary. Hail
I
Mary,
just
full of
I
grace.
skipped right. Yeah.
Listen, he
I
can't
skipped
be
right past the
Catholic
joke.
or Jewish. He got kicked out of the Daily Wire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, neither joined, but
I
Yeah.
like growing up and
big
listening to
evangel-
him.
Big. How do we call? I'm going through.
Oh,
a
you're talking
phase where
about
I add-
big calf.
Yeah, big Catholic. You know, like big tech or big
We
pharma.
got to go against big Catholic.
the big Jew.
Big Catholic.
Big Pope.
I'm against
Big Pope.
big Jew. Big Hebrew.
Oh man, yeah, dude. Look, Cameron said if we're coming back, we gotta come out strong, and
Oh
he's like,
no.
"I'm gonna make sure we get canceled day one."
Yeah.
Dude,
But
this guy keeps showing up on my feed now because of his stupid Instagram videos. What's his name? He's like racist as anything. His name is Oh,
Fuentes, Nick Fuentes.
Nick Fuentes.
Oh
That
my
dude, yeah.
gosh, dude!
Crazy.
That guy is he's a horrible human being.
Crazy.
Yeah. He's
There's a clip that comes out and it's like, someone's like, so if I have a relationship with a black man, you're saying it's like having a relationship with a dog? And he goes, yeah.
Yeah, dude, no,
I'm
he is
dead serious.
a terrible
completely
person.
dead serious. Yeah.
Dude, he's a
Stuff's
terrible
nuts.
person.
World.
Anyway, my point I'm trying to make with all of that was that in the same sense as Charlie Kirk with Steven Crowder, there's really I don't ever remember hearing him say something that I ultimately disagreed with. And that because I like listening to Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, and like all of those guys. They've got a lot of good stuff, and I think they're really onto something. But they're still sometimes like, I don't know about that. Probably not.
Matt Walsh yesterday went on a big tirade about how the rapture is made up and fake and not real, and everyone
gosh.
knows it. And I'm like, he said it's nowhere in the Bible, and it was made up in the 1940s. And I'm like, how are you getting that mixed up? There's like 3 different raptures in the Bible. I don't know.
Matt Walsh. I can listen to Matt Walsh.
They're just so
about
Catholic.
some political stuff, but
I thought Catholics believed in the rapture. Am I missing that?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
see.
Actually,
I thought Catholics believed in that.
Well, I also learned today there's a huge difference between American Catholics and European Catholics, which I thought was weird.
Roman Catholics and Matt Walsh. I used to when I had social media. I used to
No,
Catholics.
they don't. No,
Catholics.
Catholics do not believe in the rapture as it is understood in many evangelical and fundamentalist denominations. They do not believe that believers will be secretly taken away from the earth before a period of tribulation, but rather that the living and the dead will be gathered at Christ's glorious second coming for the final judgment and resurrection.
So,
Matt Walsh is weird.
okay, but I didn't realize Catholics. That's good to know because I didn't realize that.
That is interesting. Actually,
not-
I
I
don't
had
think
never heard a Catholic say that.
I gotta be honest with you.
So
I
they
don't
think at the
I
second
mean,
coming,
now that I'm
the gathering
If
of
it-
when
It's going to be everybody.
instead of just the Jews and us
Yeah.
coming back with
now
them.
that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've ever talked about the rapture with a Catholic. So
No.
But who's the horses?
Um,
I'm gonna look at. I'm gonna
yeah, we'll
I'm
have
gonna
to
respond to Matt Walsh.
do it. Get him on the podcast. Longtime listener, friend of the show, Matt Walsh. Do you guys
on
want
the
to?
topic
So I was
before we
trying
get
to figure out how to big Catholic, big pharma. I was trying to figure out a way to say big gay. Like, well, we're gonna really
It's
tick
like,
off
that
the
is-
big gay.
That's one of my favorite things to say. I've been saying that for years.
No, I know, like big gay, but like I want to like what's the proper way of saying like big homo? Like as
Huge
a corporation, like
you got to alliterate huge homos.
no.
To
The idea is like a big corporation, like oh man, like like
Whoa.
big pharma, like the
They-
big.
Oh,
Pushers,
they got
whatever.
some weird stuff about the horsemen. This says the white
Big.
horse is identified as either as the Antichrist or as Jesus Christ, brandishing a sword.
Yeah,
Right,
when you
it's
get
like-
when you get your doctrines mixed up like that, a lot of people
Whoa.
interchange the two. Sometimes it gets weird.
Yeah.
When you don't use the Bible, you can kind of come
Yeah.
up with whatever
You
you
come
Yeah.
up
want.
with whatever you want.
Yeah,
To Catholics,
no
the
doubt.
four horsemen of the
The
apocalypse
liberty that
symbolize
you're given.
the calamities
when there's
of
no Bible involved.
conquest, war,
The
famine.
Catholics be adding anything they want.
Oh yeah,
It's like
Karen
anything
said
like
the Catholics be adding. The Catholics be adding.
Dude, the one guy said, well, there's a story of a Catholic priest, and when he died, his bones resurrected and went around preaching. Now, it's just a tale, but they preach that stuff as doctrine. Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
we
What?
already was it Harry?
Where's-
Harry sent
where's
us
this
the new
from?
gamer, the new gamer saint. So
sainthood.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
you know, Saint Halo
Stupid.
or whatever.
yeah,
Um,
Saint Halo. Saint Halo.
Saint Master Chief.
Yeah, I'm only really allowed to play Halo. Just part of the deal.
Big faggy.
Oh my gosh! All right. Well,
Yes.
Big
Don't
faggy.
cut it. It belongs here.
I don't
Big
know.
faggy's
I'm
coming
not.
after
I'm
us.
not gonna cut it. We're gonna get kicked off YouTube. I'm not gonna cut. Might have to switch to Rumble after this episode.
Will that kick us kicked off?
A slur for sure.
Faggy slur?
Dude, that was
Yes.
David. That was good.
Yeah.
That was. You have to switch to Rumble. That
Uh,
I want you to know that was great.
I think
Let's
that's
get-
only if we're monetized.
Oh yeah, but
No,
no.
like,
If you say crazy stuff, you could get kicked off whether or not you're
We'll just see what
monetized.
I'm
happens.
not. Yeah, well, whatever.
I just have to bleep
Well-
out the word.
Yeah, we'll get a warning.
You don't
That makes
bleep
it
out the
worse.
word. They're gonna
That makes
think
it
I'm
worse.
cursing.
Well,
You should no.
which
you should make
ironically
it,
wouldn't
listen,
get
listen,
you kicked
li-
off of
wait, wait, wait.
YouTube.
You should make it an obvious, an obvious like voiceover, be like big, and then put something stupid in there, like big flowers, like a totally different voice and like something like really like
Oh,
non-offensive.
I mean, I think we get like 3 strikes anyway, so it is what it is.
So this is
Uh,
one. Well, fine. I'll do
yeah.
the next 2 in 10 minutes.
All right. Let's get into the topic of the show. The
Yes.
topic of the show. We are going to talk about some hard-earned lessons.
Oh, I like how you did that.
Yeah, see that? Look at that, man. That's called.
Can you do any animations with it?
Well, I'd have to
Hard
figure it out
learned
for sure.
lessons.
But, the topic of the day, we came up with the question: what is a lesson that you had to learn the hard
The
way?
hard way.
What is a lesson that you had to learn the hard way? And we meant to get into this a little earlier. We were trying to structure the show a little bit, and we
yeah.
were like, we're going to give 15, 20 minutes to
And
our
we didn't
random
make it.
thoughts.
We
Here
didn't
we are
make
at
it.
minute 35, and
I meant
Topic
at
of show.
35.
we are. Yep. So, Dustin, if you want to kick it off, what is a lesson that you had to learn the hard way?
I guess I can start. So the main one, like this, and I'm pretty sure
I don't
preached-
know how I'm gonna do with this one.
I think I preached something along
Get
the
it.
same
I'm a
line.
You
proper
had life.
child.
You had life figured out the
I
womb.
didn't. Mine
All right,
was
get your parents on the phone. Hey, what is a lesson that Cameron had to learn the hard way?
It's gonna be everything with me is gonna be good. I'll say it because that's all I have.
All right. Mine was with authority, and this happened in the Army. So, long story short, when we got back from deployment, there were me and a couple other people had, we were still like more experienced privates. We were about to get promoted to specialist, and they were trying to fill some team leader spots because we had people that were getting out of the Army, and they picked a guy who had been in the Army for less time than me, but he was like 18 and built like a gorilla. Like, so they picked him, but he had some knowledge, and he was like ridiculously like strong and fit and athletic, but he was a horrible leader. Did not know how to lead people. He just relied on just not like brilliant ways of trying to lead men. No, and there were me and
I
like,
feel like
4
you're
other people on our
indirectly
team.
talking about me.
No,
Cameron
but
just
anyway,
perked up when
and-
you
but
said
look,
built
listen,
like
listen,
a
listen, listen.
gorilla.
Like
Yeah.
a gorilla, I was like,
He was our team leader for over a year, I think, and I struggled so much with submitting to the authority that he had over me. I hated it. It was, and my life in the Army for that whole year was miserable because not only I didn't have bad immediate leadership, but our company commander was like he hated our guts, and our battalion commander also acted like he hated our guts because we just got back from a 9-month combat deployment, and we had the entire year was scheduled out the whole year with nonstop training cycles. So we came back. We were gone for a month doing training. Came back, and then we were gone for 4 months to West Point to do more training. So we were gone for almost 2 years, just nonstop, back to back, no R&R. It was rough. Anyway,
so
I
the
finally
Lord
came
was
to-
preparing you for marriage.
yeah. But anyway, it came to a point where I realized that in order for me to get any kind of enjoyment out of this at all and not be miserable all the time, to just accept the fact that for whatever annoying reason, this buffoon was in charge of me. And I just had to do whatever he told me to do instead of fight it all the time. And I did. And then a week and a half, 2 weeks after like that come to Jesus meeting, I got moved to a different platoon that needed a team leader, and I was a team leader there. So, and then I think about it all the time. Like, it was, if I had just submitted to that authority, like months before that, a year before that, would I have been given the same opportunity that I just got? Because I really think that God allowed me to be there for that amount of time to show me that it doesn't matter whether or not if he's a good leader, bad leader, whatever, I put him in charge of you. You need to adhere to his authority because I've done this to you.
What was
Um,
what was
life
like
less.
the
Listen,
clicking moment that made you be like, oh, dude, I have to like actually sit down and listen to this guy?
I remember being in and our company building, and I think we just came back from like a field exercise or something, and I was just thinking about how much I hated it and how miserable it was, and how much I hated his
As
guts,
you do.
and I felt God like just tell me flat out that my life would be a lot better if I just submitted. And then I thought about it. I'm like, I guess that's just what I have to do because this is awful, and I can't do this for another 2 years. So I did, and I just submitted to his authority. I did whatever he wanted to, and all the yelling and screaming over just stupid stuff to make a show. It was fine. And then when I got to my other platoon and took a leadership position, and I just wanted to do the best job I could. Our first live fire exercise, the team that I led, along with another team leader, and we were on the same page with that kind of stuff. Our squad had the best night iteration of clearing a mine wire obstacle and clearing a bunker, and then doing a reactive like we had the fastest time. Like,
So you didn't have any knuckleheads that were like you.
Nope. Well, no, I take that back because that was also that was a pretty bad night because my saw gunner, his machine gun just fell apart, and I didn't tell. It was terrible. It was the worst thing in the world.
I think you've told that story on the podcast.
I did. I may have, and then what no one knew except for me was that I saw, and it was pretty bad. But I took everyone else's magazines and I just used my M4 in full auto to fill in the machine gun slot, and no one had any idea that a machine gun just stopped working.
Well,
the whole moral of that is that there is such a thing as and obviously there is such a thing as bad leadership. But that's a whole other topic. But God will put people over you. And I think a lot of this is in the church, and we have good leadership. So I'm brown nosing. But
well, I mean that's a good thing to throw out there because there's a lot of, I know that your church has it and our church has it as well, but you've got a bunch of kids who come to church whose parents do not come to church. Mm-hmm. And I think at some point, to some degree, it might not be like a big thing they wrestle with, but I think at some point, to some degree, if a kid is coming to church and they're being faithful and they want to live for God and their parents aren't saved, they hit that thing of like, well, how much am I supposed to listen to my parents if they're wicked and wrong? And so, I mean, that's a good lesson to get a hold of, like, because your parents might not be saved, but the Bible, the Bible
there are still
to honor your
authorities
father
that God wants you to submit to, even if they're terrible.
Right.
Yeah, with that being said, I forgot to tell you, Dustin, that Kazi is now in charge of you at a church in a certain ministry that I haven't figured out yet. But
that I haven't figured out yet.
He could easily
answer to him. Just let you know.
That's fine. Head. He could easily be a dictator.
And then Seth Hayes. Seth Hayes is under Kaz, and then you have to answer directly to Seth Hayes.
I don't think you're following God.
So maybe you haven't learned your lesson quite yet.
That'd be the worst lesson in the world.
If you got Seth sitting under Kazi, he might start showing up at my church more often.
Dude! Alright. Man, that's wild. Alright. No. Kaz could easily be a dictator.
Oh, for sure.
He loves authority. He loves it. Because he never has it. So when he finally gets it, it's like, yes!
And he's going to let you know. He's going to let you know. There's no doubt in my mind. No, I mean, but that's still a good
That's good, Dustin.
Yeah, you said it was a hard learned lesson. What are some of the hard things you had to go through because you didn't learn the lesson?
One time he punished me.
I'm gonna start calling David Barber Walters because he keeps asking these questions.
Who?
Bro, I'm trying to listen, bro. You coming at me?
What,
Barbara
call you,
Walters. Barbara Walters seems like an attractive man, so thank you.
I'm so confused. I have no idea what.
Barbara Walters was
No, I
60
know.
Minutes for years.
Yeah,
Uh,
listen, I'm over here. I'm interviewing. I'm trying to get this podcast on
Rolling.
the. Yeah, man.
Stuff I had to endure. There were a handful of times, and obviously, like, I'm not perfect, and there were times that I would screw up and mess up, and I would do things wrong, and I was deserving of some sort of repercussion. But there were a lot of times, and I would probably say most times, where he would punish not just me, but all of us as a group for. And mind you, this isn't like he's younger than me, but not by much. It was only it was like 2 years.
Ooh, that's got to be like even harder.
It was and I hated it. I hated it.
That's why I refuse to listen to Cameron
I
at all.
had more experience in the army, but he had a likable personality. Leadership liked him, and he was a jerk. And if you're in the army and you're big and you're a jerk, you're going to go far. So, there were a lot of times he would punish us, our team, for stuff that not only was not our fault, but that was his fault. But it made him look good. It made him look like he was taking control of the men. But he wasn't. Like, and even after we were gone, he never after us, like, he never had a good team. The only reason he had a good team with us was because we were all experienced. We had more our entire team was filled with people that had more experience in him. So we always perform well. And then after our team left, everyone in our team at some point came out of that and was put in leadership positions. And he never had a good team after that. He could not figure out how to take control of the team and of his men without screaming at them constantly. And it was a common motto in the Army is like, if you have to scream at your team to get them to do anything, you've already lost control, because you obviously can't figure out how to control them, especially during a firefight. Like, obviously you're going to have to yell and, whatever.
Well, what's the age-old saying? A man in charge never has to tell you who he is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
some people just have it, dude. Like, yeah, you don't have to tell someone to take control of a situation. If it's not already, if the leadership structure isn't set up, if there's no leadership structure, the leaders it's just.
Oh yeah, dude. There's some people who are just born with whatever that thing is, that they can just they can just rise up, get a couple people to follow them. Even that without that sort of thing being trained or cultivated.
Yep, no, you're right. It's good, Dustin.
If I were to say a hard learned lesson, this one, I wasn't in the military or anything like that, but I'd say a hard learned lesson and the fallout thereof, which is still something that I deal with the repercussions of to this day to some degree, I'm sure. Although I probably don't pay as much attention to it. But when I was a teenager, I was just a punk. I was, man. I was just
Was.
yeah.
Tell
And now I have a beard. So now nothing's changed. No, I was just like a punky kid, and
now you're a bunk.
Yeah.
And I would I would fight with, I'm kind of the same boat as you. Like, I wouldn't listen to authority. I wouldn't do what I was told to do. Never, bro. That's gross. But I didn't realize when I was a teenager, or maybe I did realize, I just didn't care. But I was setting up a testimony that in the long run would come around and bite me in the rear, because and I preach like a message on it now, on a good name. A good name's rather to be chosen, because and in the message I pretty much go through and I talk about how your name is unique in the fact that you can spend all of this time defining what your name is, and then your name will turn around and define you. And as a younger man, because I was, I had such an attitude and I was such a goof off, and because I never took anything serious and I was always talking back and all this other kind of stuff. Um, when I got older and I did straighten up and I did get my act together and I did, get real focused on living for God and stuff like that. By that point, there was already a a crowd of adults who had seen me act a certain way for so long that there was multiple years where it was like, and the Lord gave me the opportunity to kind of fight that, but there was a bunch of people who already had a preconceived notion
Right.
of me
Mm-hmm.
because of how I acted when I was younger. And I made my name mean a certain thing. So now that I'm older and I don't act that way anymore, when they hear my name, that's what they think.
You mean like
Uh,
when Jason stood up publicly and
see,
said
I
that
wasn't gonna say names. I
David's
wasn't.
a punk?
I wasn't gonna
I
say
thought he
names.
was a punk.
I
And then
wasn't gonna
the
say
next
names.
met.
But there is a good an example of that would be Brother Jason Dumas, who was not a fan of young David Neath, not at all. And
But by young David Neath, he meant like 25-year-old David
no,
Neath.
stop. No, 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 no. This is like 16, 17. Stop.
So that was
Dude,
like 60 years ago.
that would have been 15 years ago.
Yeah. I said when I
I
was a
don't think
teen.
we knew him 15, 20 years ago.
They came to, yeah, dude. When I was 17 and 18, they were coming to our teen camp at Promised Land.
So what are you, 34?
35.
Whew.
I see. I think Jason. I think 10 years, so it would be 25. 15 years is 20.
25? No, it was definitely not 25 because Brother Samson. This was when I was because
So
brother.
you're probably around 18, 19, 20.
So when I was a teenager, and I was still in the teen class, they came and they met us, and I was acting a fool, and I left a very bad impression on not just him, but like a group of adults. And fast forward down the line, I've gotten my act together, and I'm trying to be the preacher God wants me to be. But there was a reputation that I had to first get past. And it was
You were basically like the Apostle Paul when he went back to Jerusalem, and Peter's like, "No, guys, he's solid now.
and
He's he's
yeah,
not
and I mean,
flopping heads off."
God's given me that second chance to mend said bridges, and me and Brother Jason have talked about it a couple of times, and me and him are good now. Like he calls me, he texts me, we're good, we're friends. We have a good
Sends you
time when
messages from men's retreat.
Yep, we're good. We hang out. When we're at teen camp, we sit, we talk. Everything is good, but um, and it wasn't just him. It was a group of adults that they thought about me in a certain light because of the way I acted, and the hard lesson to learn was, and I really try to drive this home with our teenagers, because it's easy for teenagers to act like knuckleheads. And I try to drive it home, be like, listen, I'm all for having fun, I'm all for having a good time, but understand that the testimony that you build today could, whether it be negative or positive, affect who you are down the road. And if you act a certain way, there's going to be people who might not know you, but they just see you act a certain way. And when you get older, it might be harder for you to serve God in the way that you want to serve God, because you've already set up this terrible testimony to all these people who watched you grow up.
Yep.
And the Bible talks about let no man despise thy youth, and the fact of the matter is that includes you. Like, there's certain things that I did when I was a teenager, and I'm like, dang, man, I can't believe I did that. Like, I was such an idiot. I wish I had just listened better. And because of that, like, as an adult, it was like, now I have to have those awkward conversations of, yeah, no, I was an idiot. I'm not anymore, and I hope you believe me. So, you know what I mean? Like, and that's before, you know, that's before social media was as big as it is now. You know, when I was a teenager, like Facebook was a thing, but that was pretty much it. You know, there wasn't like a bunch of Twitter or Instagram or all TikTok or any of these other stuff. So now you've got teenagers who are just throwing everything out there, and everybody and their mother sees it, and then they come around and they're like, "But we love the Lord and we want to serve God," and it's like, my guy,
Yeah.
you've set up, and that was a hard lesson for me to learn as a teenager, because you know people like Brother Samson would tell me all the time, like, this is gonna bite you in the butt if you don't get your act together, and I'm like, no, it's fine, or I don't care, I'm a tough guy, I don't care what anybody thinks about me, and then I'm an adult, and I'm a young adult, and I'm wanting to serve the Lord, and I'm like, I probably should have listened more when I was younger. And that was probably one of the harder lessons I've had to learn. And I've gotten, well, let me say, I like to think that I've gotten better about keeping my attitude and my mouth in check.
Not much better.
You know, progress, baby steps. You know
Baby
what I mean?
steps. Yep. So, what about Bob?
So,
I
Yeah.
could have told you all this about yourself. You should have listened to me.
yeah, but you're younger than me, and we've already touched on that.
Yeah, but never mind. I was gonna
Uh-huh.
say I'm better than you, but I don't think
Yeah,
I
we
am
already
better
know
than
you
you.
believe it.
Yeah. Oh, well, not on a. You got a bigger house than I do. You have more books, obviously, than I do. Um, based off of. Yeah. Your wife makes more money than I do.
She does
What are
make
we
So-
doing?
I guess you're better than me.
Cameron's doing that. He's virtue signaling.
It was a weird combination of virtue signaling and gaslighting.
No doubt. Which is honestly, if you think about it,
That's pretty much
it's the
the same thing,
cameraman.
yeah.
It's the cameraman Manawayzi.
Manawayzi.
The cameraman Manawayzi way to go about things. Yeah.
Gaslighting.
No, that's probably when I think of hard learned lessons. That's probably the biggest and hardest one I've had to learn. And now I see teenagers, especially teenagers in our church, that like do the same kind of stuff. And I'm like,
You're
hey
like,
man,
whoa.
I'm like, let me tell you, a testimony isn't just something you stand in front of the church and say. Like a testimony is, it'll define you. And you know, they say it all the time. Like it takes a lifetime to prove that you love God.
Yeah.
And
An
it,
instant or a
and it-
moment to.
yeah, to ruin it all. So that's a
One podcast.
One, yeah. We'll see what happens.
One foolishly forgotten
Yeah,
unedited
so
clip.
my
Oh,
so my
Yeah,
yeah, so
hey, I
my
want to go ahead and cancel you guys from coming to sing at our meeting.
yeah, so my hard
It's gonna work
lesson
out.
was don't say dumb stuff because people will think bad about you.
Yeah.
And here I am
Yeah.
on a podcast
Yeah.
saying dumb
lay
stuff.
off the
Yep.
Jews.
So here's a hot take I have on people that don't look like me.
Dustin, have you ever noticed when we'll have you like riffing like this, Dustin always says something mildly racist and then it just ends?
It's because he says it and then he goes,
Well, last time it was.
Well, I'm
you were
thinking
talking
about
I was listening to the
trying to
episode
feel
where you were
how much
talking about-
liberty I have.
Well, I mean, it's
I
not
have-
between us, bro. It's whether you're gonna say something terrible.
it's just a matter of how much I'm going to have
The
to
other-
edit out.
The other episode,
Yeah.
you're like, guess what? The lady was married to, and he's like, a black guy. I'm like, what are you doing? Okay.
Dustin, shock value Dustin.
Yeah.
He said,
Sorry.
but then he's like, well, I thought she was going to say people stop talking to me because like other
Now,
people had
Dustin-
a problem with it. So
Dustin,
I get it, but
Dustin's humor is that of a radio DJ. A shock jockey is what they called him.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
It's been that
well-
way for my whole life.
Oh my goodness, this guy just made a horrible mistake on
Are
the
you
ball
watching The
field. Okay, I
Bachelor?
guess it's my turn. I've had, I guess, what, 20 minutes to come up with something.
Yeah. All right. Let's hear
And did
from the
you?
golden child over here.
Oh, wait, real quick. I finally won fantasy this week. It took forever, but I did it.
The hardest lesson Dustin had to
I'm done.
learn, or the hardest lesson Cameron had to learn, was don't start a podcast with people you
With
can't control.
people, yeah, with a lower IQ than you. Oh no.
I have the lowest IQ here, believe me.
Oh, Dustin's
Um,
definitely got the highest, right?
I'm giving
think we
myself
could
the
agree on
lowest.
that.
You can have the second, and
There's,
he can have
nope,
the
and we're
highest.
tired of hearing about your fake humility, Cameron.
I promise on the Bible.
There's no
I
chance. There's
guarantee
no
my IQ
chance
is
you
lower
have the
than all of
lowest.
yours.
There's no chance.
If he's the highest, your IQ is higher than mine. Why would I
No,
be the
why
higher
would?
than you?
What makes you think mine is higher than you? Why are we fighting?
You're
like
just
who's
that
the
type
dumbest on this
person.
podcast?
You're that type of person. You're quick. You're witty. I'm quick, but I'm not necessarily book smart. Anyways, enough of it.
I'm
Let me
quick and witty
self-flagellate
because I got.
myself.
I'm quick and witty because I got bullied growing up. I had to be. I had to be. Somebody sent me a picture the other day of what I looked like as a teenager, and my goodness, I would go back in time and bully me.
That was what one of the number one things I was gonna say is something I had to learn the hard way was style. Brother. You need to listen, gentlemen, kids, teens. You need to listen to your parents and your sisters on your
How to-
style because
no doubt.
Whose
I'm
side
telling
are you on?
You'll go out as an 11-year-old and 12-year-old and 14-year-old thinking you are styling, and let me tell you, no. When I was growing up, I was like self-conscious about wearing shorts, so I wore jeans everywhere. And I look back at the pictures, I'm like, oh, it's July, and I'm in baggy jeans because I had no legs.
Yeah.
And I look at the pictures, and I have like a Carolina Panthers humongous jersey on, with a matching Carolina Panthers hat and baggy pants and like fluorescent orange shoes. I'm
What do you
like,
mean? That's a cool kid, man.
what am I doing? Totally a homeschooler. You know, I use it all the time now. I say all the time to the guys, and I'm like, listen, you are going to look back at your mullet pictures, and you're going to say, what am I doing?
Listen, dude, if we're talking glow ups, I don't think anybody on this podcast had more of a glow up than I did. I looked like a greasy, bro.
What do you mean
Listen,
looked like?
I looked like if like you were like, Mom, I want to watch Harry Potter, and your mom said we have Harry Potter at home, and then you came home and you saw me.
So ridiculous.
I looked like off-brand greasy hair, bro. I looked so bad. We should get pictures of what we looked like when we were devoid of self-worth, and we should so we can put it on the episode.
My problem was I wanted to look nice. Like I cared about how I looked, but my 14, 15-year-old brain was saying this looked good, and it did not. It did not. It absolutely did not.
No doubt.
That's the problem. I was like changing stuff, like trying stuff on, putting stuff, like trying to.
At what age
And
did
I
you figure it
never
out?
seemed to. Honestly, I just think it was just maturity and aging. Like honestly, I don't. But I mean, it was not it.
There had to be an age where it
I wouldn't
clicked.
wear shirts that were like Dustin's shirt right now. How you can see some neck.
My
That
neck.
bothered me. Like I felt so stupid.
So you were
So
like,
I would
you were
always
just
wear
like,
these two super tight collars. Everything was like super tight.
how did you
collars,
get
or
your
like,
big head through there?
I don't. Well, my head was always small, so I would always wear a hat. I thought my head was small because my mom would always say your head is small because her father's head was small. But now I realize my head is actually big. All the hats, like my head is bigger than most hats. You don't want to wear a hat everywhere.
I have a
I
big
know
head
that.
too.
You don't want to wear a hat everywhere.
My wife doesn't like
Um,
me wearing hats because she says that's how you.
Hats
your
are good. I
hair
like
recedes.
them, but you can't wear them
Looking
everywhere.
at you, Dustin.
Huh?
Huh?
The number one
I
is
didn't
my.
hear what you said.
I said my wife tells me not to wear hats because that's how your hairline recedes, and I
Well,
already
went
have
through
a
that
giant
phase.
forehead.
I went
I'm
through
already
the
there.
phase where my hats were like super.
Your dad,
super-
I remember your dad talking about that. You guys used to like. He said you guys used to take them and you would like put them in like a coffee mug, like you would curl them up and you would like
Me?
put them in. He said I don't. He said the guys. So I'm not saying he's saying
Yeah,
you
yeah. No,
specifically.
I never did that.
but like
I
I
was
guess
definitely
Well,
Jared
I don't,
Payton and you
I'm not
guys
even
would
a
like
huge fan of like this
curl 'em
style
up
hat.
and-
I like the more like traditional.
I like the
See,
flatter
when I
one
didn't
now.
know when I
but
didn't
it's
know how to
changed.
dress, I used
Yeah.
to do like the you know like the flat brims
The
that were like
super flat,
wide.
Yeah, yeah.
They were like wide flat
Yeah,
brims.
they're like
Okay,
4
okay.
inches.
But
what?
look. I have found this out. You are not you. You will know if you are a man based off the fact if you can go into Dick's Sporting Goods or a Lids and take a New Era 5950 hat off the shelf, flat brim, and put it on, and you look like a total washout. You will know you're a man by if that hat, if you can wear it, and it's like, okay, this doesn't look bad. That's how you know you're a man.
Yeah.
Because any kid from 10 to 20 is going to walk in there and be like, oh.
So you heard
Yeah.
it you heard it here first, comrades and finites. The test of manhood isn't your
It is.
work ethic. It isn't how
It's your
it's
hat.
not it's not your
You know-
character. It's
I'm
how
not
well
even-
a
yeah.
hat from Lids fits on your head.
No,
And
no,
that's-
no. I am not talking about a regular hat. I'm talking about the big, boxy baseball hats that these baseball players are wearing. If you look like a baseball player wearing it, it's supposed to fit like that.
Yeah.
But if you look like
What kind of hat is it? Let me look this up.
it's a
5950.
5950. It's the classic baseball hat.
But put 59 and then spell 50.
Okay.
It's the classic. Now it looked like I used to want to wear one of those so bad. But I
Like
look
if
like
you
an idiot.
if you put one of those on and you don't
Oh,
look
I
like a
gotcha, I
Cuban
gotcha.
outfielder,
Here, share it
it's
with the
not for
screen.
you.
You're not a man yet.
Yeah, if it doesn't fit on your head the right way, if you're not walking around looking like a Cuban outfielder with that hat and your
Yeah.
and your
It looks
Oakleys,
yes, it looks a lot, but a man will be able to wear it. And you can give it a little bend and it works. But I tried to wear one of those way too early and I was like, it was just down on top of my ears. And
which then also makes your ears look so big.
yes, and I have some ears on me already. So that's not a good thing. But now I can just walk in and put any of those on, the 3 1/4, and I put them on my head, and they fit great.
So you grew into it. You grew into it.
Somehow, yes. So that's
Listen,
something. And I look back at the
listen.
pictures, and that was, if you're going to ask me, Cameron, what was some of the negative fallout? I'd say the negative fallout is the suicidal thoughts I have of seeing the pictures of them and trying to scurry the internet waves. And
Cameron, you
when
have
my
to send
family-
me. You
whenever
have to
my
send me a
family-
picture.
Whenever my family's like sets their phone down, like goes to the bathroom, I grab their phone and type in my face where all my pictures of my face pop up, and then I go and I just start deleting all the pictures from my past.
Like Cameron, you
transcription.
have to send me a picture of young Cameron so I can put it on this episode.
Yeah.
I'll find one. Just
That'd
look
be-
just type in skinny 14-year-old and nerd, and then just it'll pop up.
I can tell you this.
But
I
you know
didn't
what?
figure it
You
out
know what's
until
embarrassing?
I didn't
Go ahead,
figure it out
sorry.
until I was like in my 20s, like early 20s. I want to say like 21, 22. It's probably when I figured it out. Like
What's embarrassing is knowing now, okay, I'm 30. I was 14, 15, 16, 17. It's embarrassing for me to actually know now what that 14, 15, 16-year-old kid that I did not know and had no idea. It's an absolute joke. Like I was watching Jackson Dart, the quarterback for the New York Giants.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing an interview, on these. He's like 21, 22, and he's talking, and he is so shallow, and he's so ambitious, and he's so like, well, no, I don't really have any fear. Just nothing to say. Absolutely nothing to say.
Yeah,
And
of course.
I'm like, I'm 30, you're 20, 22, and you're going to look back and be like, dude, I had no idea
no doubt.
what
no
life
doubt.
was about. I had absolutely no idea.
I
No
think
idea.
everybody. I think if you look back on yourself as a teenager and you look back at that person, you go, they had it figured out. Then you're still a child in your head.
Yeah, yes. It's like the picture of when you look in the mirror and you don't see yourself as autistic, but you are, right? You know, it's like, how do I know I'm not autistic? Well,
Yeah,
if you are and you don't know, then yeah.
I feel so. When I was a
I'm not
teenager,
done yet. Go ahead.
no, no,
I
no.
think I
I'm
have.
I'm adding to the style thing. When I was a teenager, my clothes were always just so baggy. They were just so baggy and so big on me, and I would all right, what are we doing here? Get that out of here, bro.
It
What
just
are
showed
we?
that picture of Dustin.
Yeah.
TJ.
uh, um, no. So and then I
Hope they gave someone
would.
some help.
My clothes were always oversized. I never did my hair. I always looked so bad. I'd go to church with like wrinkled shirts and everything else. And I specifically remember because I moved to Connecticut to go to Bible school when I was 20. And I get to Connecticut, and I was not living there but a couple of weeks. And Vince Massa was preaching, and he literally looked me into the windows of my soul, and he said, "You'll never find a wife until you learn how to iron your shirt."
Mm.
And at that moment, I went, "You know what? I think some things need to change."
Yeah.
And I went and I got contacts. And instead of, I used to do this ugly, like Abe Lincoln chin strap Amish thing.
I
And I
want to see
said-
pictures of this.
And I said, "You know what? Now we're going full beard. We're going full beard here." I got rid of my little circular like Harry Potter glasses,
Golly, yeah.
and then I learned, and then I just learned how to dress, not like
I think part of the problem for me was I had no access, and it's not a bad, like, I'm glad I didn't have access to stuff, but I didn't know, like, I wanted to look good. I was always self-conscious because I was really skinny, but I wanted to look nice, but I really didn't know what nice looked like. It wasn't like I had, it was,
Mhm.
you know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, there wasn't access to like style. Like I didn't know what you're
right.
supposed to look like. What is my style? All right. I guess I'll be a redneck. Like so you
Mhm.
try it, but I was like, I like sports, so I'm not like a sports. I'm not like a redneck, but I like sports. So Panther stuff. Oh, I had so much Panthers gear, so much of that stuff.
I mean, I
It,
feel like that's just a normal thing teenagers got to bounce around and try to figure out
you got to definitely figure it out.
their
And
lane.
it still bothers me today. I still think I was so like convinced in my mind that this is a good look that even today my goal in life is wear something that in 20 years when you look back is not going to be like your kids like what were you wearing? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you look back at my father-in-law and he's in those like the biggest shorts. If a strong enough wind came and blew, like
Strong
They just
enough.
took him away.
blew him away. You know what I mean?
Just straight Dorothy, Wizard of Oz, caught in the hurricane.
Right. Right. So t-shirts and normal fitting shorts are fine. Like it's jeans and a t-shirt, that's going to be pretty much timeless, but the goal is to try and wear something in the same way the suit, like, you know, the big baggy suits are not in anymore, and I know it was normal back then.
I'll say this,
So
Cameron. I will say this. Your suit game these days is on point. Listen, bro, you wear some nice suits.
they're not nice suit. They're cheap suits, but
Hey, those are the best kind.
Yes,
Hey,
I don't
I
buy
don't care how
expensive
much
suits.
it costs. As long as it looks good, it looks good.
every suit I have is from my mom and my mother-in-law from Christmas time or my
Bro,
birthday.
that's the way to do
And
it.
my wife's fine with it. She's like, "Yes, save the money."
Yeah, it's
And I get like 2 or 3
That's
new
a
suits, and I
good
just
woman.
mix and match tops and bottoms, and it just works. But I know how to dress now, but it was a struggle. But my number one big thing to learn was this this thing right in between my Adam's apple and my nose right here. Blah 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 blah. This guy,
Yeah.
this yapper, because I was always social. I was always the life of the party. But some of the stuff that came out of my mouth, so stupid.
Oh, no doubt, dude. I'm right there with you, man.
I said
I'm
so many stupid things. I have a smart mouth. I had to just. This is not a. I have to learn. This is a. I am learning.
oh for
Not
sure.
But I was a lot worse when I was a kid. It just so many stupid things that the tongue does destroy, and so many things that I said that people would be like, "Yeah, we were here and you said this," and I'm like, "It wasn't something terrible, but it was just rude." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Why would I say that?"
Dude,
And I know there's sarcasm or something in
yeah.
it but I'm like, why? And so
Oh
you
yeah,
really have to
there's
be careful what
a
you say.
blessing a blessing and a cursing is now that I'm older, like there's times where I walk away from like a conversation and I'm thinking to myself, hmm, that wasn't my best work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
there's times
Well,
where I'm
I
like,
have this.
Oh
I
yeah.
have this thing, and it works for a podcast sometimes. But even like that thing I said earlier about, um, we were making anti-Semitic. We were talking about Israel, which we're all full
Mhm.
pro-Israel. But I
Right.
was making a joke about Israel people, and I said something. It was just abrasive and funny, but I do that on purpose. You try and like Justin, we were saying, being a shock jock. I
Yeah.
say crazy things
just to get a reaction.
to get a
Yeah.
reaction.
For
And
sure.
a lot of times I'm really good at that.
Yeah. Because I mean it.
A lot of times I'll say something and it will catch people off guard and it's funny and I use it as humor. But some things to get a laugh is not always, and I'm not saying rude or crude, but some things just like when I was a teenager or younger, I could really get a reaction. Like the thing I said, David, remember years ago with Michael Shane and we were talking about a certain girl and the type person, and that thing I said, it's like, why would I say that? Why would I say that?
Because it's funny.
It's just like, but I'm with the guy and I'm like, it's the stupidest thing. I mean, like,
I think
I
that's a
always
hard,
forget you said that
especially.
until you.
Yeah. And I know what you're talking about because I'd heard this story, but anyway, it's especially hard for men. One, I mean, obviously, we tend to joke about some pretty crazy stuff, but it's so hard. It's so hard
to
because
hold your tongue.
yes, and especially when it comes to humor because there's an opportunity to say something that is going to get the reaction you're looking for.
Yeah.
It's just
Yes, it's hard.
yes, it's
I-
hard.
there
And then
was-
you're like, well, and then you're like, because believe it or not, there's a lot of stuff I don't say. I know it's hard to believe, but there is a lot of things I
Listen,
don't say.
Anybody who knew me as a teenager and then knows me now knows that I've gotten
You can't even
worlds
smirk.
better at holding my tongue.
You can't
Yeah.
even smirk,
Yeah,
Yeah. You gotta
especially
straight face that,
if
man.
you're in like public or you're working with
Yeah,
you're working
yeah,
with guys. You can't even give
no,
because we all get like what could be placed
what
here.
could be
or
funny?
it's
Yeah,
funny. It's not even necessarily like dirty, but like you can't. You have to
it's
just
just
like
it's not
you
tasteful.
really have to train yourself to not give any reaction.
Yeah,
And I've had
there's
to do that in church a lot and dealing
you
with people
failed.
and dealing
You
with
failed.
teens.
You failed Friday.
What did I do Friday?
You failed. You failed Friday.
I feel like I know what you're talking
You
about, but I
failed.
can't remember the situation.
What did I do?
You were getting ready to pass out some McDonald's gift cards.
Yes.
and
Yeah,
somebody said something and I looked up at you and I literally saw you literally went like this. You looked right at me and you went, I can't do that. You literally said it out loud. You went, I can't. And I was like,
You can find it.
yeah.
You can find it on the live stream.
no doubt. Dude, I almost had to leave. I was laughing so hard.
This kid was like, I said Starbucks gift card, and this like big kid stands up and goes, yeah! And then I said, how about McDonald's? Same kid. Yeah! And I was like, same kid, huh? And I said that. I was like, that makes sense. Didn't I say that? Did I say
Uh,
that accent?
I didn't
I
hear you
don't.
say that.
I think I
I
No,
rumbled
know.
that.
no,
I think
there's
I
something else,
rumbled.
and I know, remember the situation now, and I didn't look at either one of you. I just went. I kind of looked around to see if anyone else like was getting the same
No,
vibe, and then but I can't remember. I can't remember what the.
it was a thing where it was a situation where somebody said something and nobody said anything out loud, but you could see in everyone's
You can see the
eyes,
connection being made.
everybody was like, I cannot say that out loud. And you could see everybody. Everybody had this like, dude, it hit everybody at the same time. The only problem was his camera was just standing in front of everybody with a microphone in his hand. Uh, no,
Yeah.
no, I
Talking in
did.
church has helped me.
I agree,
I,
bro. But dude,
talking in church has helped me not do what I did then.
yeah, no, I agree, dude. That saying stuff that you shouldn't say, even if it's not, it doesn't even have to be vulgar or dirty or nothing
Yeah.
like that. It's just sometimes learning how to not talk will go
Yeah.
so far.
Absolutely. And it's hard for people who are supposed to be talkers and talk, and you're always
Yeah.
supposed to talk. Learn to shut up.
What is it? The phrase it's
Je-
better to be silent and everyone think you're a fool than to open your mouth and remove
And
all doubt.
remove all doubt. Yeah.
And I can see Jesse emailing right now. Yeah, Cameron, you interrupt everyone.
Or but
That's something too.
another one of my favorites is light travels faster than sound. That's why some people appear bright until they open their mouth.
Yes.
That's funny. I don't think I may have heard that, but very distantly. But that's pretty funny.
Another, I guess, a last thing I'll put in there because these aren't really like main, like an event or whatever. But I have I've been told many times by people that I come across as arrogant. Insert jokes. Go ahead. Get this out of the way. Get this out of the way. Go on. Insert jokes. Get them. Go ahead.
Cameron Manarese?
Yeah.
I don't believe that for
Anyways,
at all.
yes. I have had a lot of people say that. And
By a lot
I-
of people,
I
do you mean
think-
me?
I think, and most people have said once they get to know me, that's not the case
It
at
gets
all.
worse.
That's why I said, get the jokes out. Get the
I had
jokes
to.
out. I get it.
I had to do it.
You're
It would have been a disservice to have not said
This
that.
is the lowest hanging fruit.
I,
If you guys didn't joke here, I wouldn't take this. I'd be like, "What's wrong?"
I'm just waiting for the moment. Comedy is
I
half
can't
the
believe I came
time.
up with
weren't
that.
joking, I would be concerned that this is all true. Because you're like, yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I'm glad that
we're all on the
I'm
same page.
just glad you caught on.
No,
you
you
know,
guys be like,
just,
no. Anyway,
So sports.
anyways, so the way I come across or the way I carry myself can come across. I've worked on it a lot because I remember when I was a teenager and stuff, I just wouldn't like, and it was a point of pride, but I just wouldn't like really give the girls a whole lot of attention. I just wouldn't.
Well, you were a guy's guy. You were.
Well,
I mean,
I was friends with my
You're
friends.
the Baptist
But
bachelor.
also, I had sisters, and I knew like I'm not gonna flirt around or whatever. So I know a lot of girls would say Cameron's arrogant because I never would.
he's stuck
really-
up. He doesn't. Like I said
Stuck
hi,
up,
and he
stuck up.
ignored me. Uh-huh.
Whatever, arrogant, stuck up. I heard a lot, but I am very, very far from stuck up.
Oh no,
Oh,
your camera's
camera
gone.
went out. Oh, there it is.
I am not stuck up. I can tell you that. And I can come across as arrogant, but that's something I work on because I just know when I walk in, I just know people are going to view me a certain way. And so I really have to work on my demeanor and being light and like talking to people casually, you know what I mean? And just kind of being, outgoing because a lot of times, people are watching you, especially if you're in front of people watch you and you are going to put off some type of air.
people will form an opinion on you without
Absolutely.
saying a single word to you.
Absolutely. And um, it just part of it is being, I think, in we would sing or whatever, and you have sort of you're on the platform, and I just feel like that really I have to really
Yeah,
make sure
but
people know, or I
right,
really have
right,
to
right.
talk to people and like let people get to know me because I feel like when people just and I did the same thing, to other
But
people, but
I think the best testament against that kind of stuff though is like, and like, I mean, I wouldn't know if anybody does this about me, but I can say in the case of one Cameron Manarese, if somebody were to say or think something along those lines, genuinely the people who would know you would go, Cameron, like what?
yeah,
You
and
know what I
that's
mean?
what usually
So
has
Yeah.
happened. Someone's told me, someone so
right,
really
like that's what that
like
doesn't.
someone indirectly emailed
Well,
or
I know that there
something,
was
or
Nikki had a client. She
that's it.
was
That's what I'm talking about.
Nikki had a client,
And she
and
was like, he had
Nikki,
a problem
she
with
said she
me,
lived down in Greenwood, and Nikki said, "Oh, my husband's best friend,
Mm.
he's a pastor down there. Da 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 da. And you should go to Heritage Bible Baptist Church." And she was like, "I've been to that church, and those people were so like Cameron and them, like they were so stuck up, and they gave
she
the
said
worst impression."
yeah,
And I was
she
like,
said me
Huh?
specifically. She was like,
and now listen,
Cameron,
if anybody has ever seen Cameron and Nikki interact with each other, it is oil and water. They love to go at each other from the
That's
moment
funny.
they see each other to the moment they're done.
I'm gonna turn her daughter against
And
her.
it I mean, I think it literally I think that
Oh,
client left. I would have to double check with Nikki, but I think that client left such because she was talking about Cameron and them that Nikki finished her hair and Nikki was like, it would probably be best if you found someone else to do like
When
Nikki, because
you
like
called me
Nikki
that
was
day, and it was specifically about me, and I honestly feel like, and I'm not being whatever, but I feel like because I remember what you guys were saying, but I felt like she kind of this was before I was married. It had to be. I feel like this chick wanted
this
my
was
attention,
yeah Nikki
and
had
I feel
been
like I
only
didn't give her
living
any
here
attention.
for
And she's like, he's stuck up. He thinks he's better than me. He's arrogant. He's what. And I feel
So
like that's
you
what.
so you remember and know what the situation with this
No, I
person?
couldn't remember who this
yeah, he
person
doesn't
was.
even remember who she is, which kind of proves her point a little bit, but but no, I just like I remember like I said, if anybody's ever witnessed Cameron and Nikki talk, they're constantly going at each other's necks. And it's just like that's the relationship they have. And they love each other. It's just they're constantly going at each other. And Nikki was so angry and defensive that Nikki was just like, it's probably best for if you found someone else to cut your hair.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
because Nikki was just like, we're not gonna get along.
Yeah, how
And
could you?
yeah, I remember that though. That was so funny.
Yeah, but stuff like that. So in other words, here's what I pray, and I pray it not as often as I should, but Lord help me not to have a proud look.
Hmm.
You want,
That's good.
you want to have a good the type of spirit that doesn't.
But be proud of the way
reek.
you look.
You want to have the type of spirit that when people see you, it's not automatically like, judgy. And also because of that, I have learned not to judge people based off of how I see them
Yeah,
first.
I judge
You know what I'm
them
saying?
based off of who they look like.
Yeah. Based off the color of their skin.
Yes, I base them off of what animal I associate them with.
Off of what?
What animal I associate them with.
Oh, okay.
I'm like an overly large gecko, I think. Kind of sticky, little weird, green, usually under a house.
Long tail, Australian accent.
All right.
I want to make one comment on what you said about having a proud look, and this is very, very off topic, but I have been going back through and listening to all of Charlie Kirk's messages from the beginning of the year, and I think
Messages.
I've sort of podcast. I feel
on
like
sermon
he's a preacher,
audio.
all right.
Look him up. Google him on
he's just a
sermon
preacher.
audio.
Listen,
He's
it
just a
is
preacher.
midnight and my brain is there in spirit. Anyway, I've been listening to all his podcast episodes and him talking and different interviews he's had with people. And I've kind of thought this before, but I couldn't really put anything to it. And just listening to the way he talks and how he carries himself, regardless of what audience he's with, I can't think of another person, especially with that kind of platform, that is as humble as he is. I've never heard him speak and think that there was, even if he's right, that there was an ounce of pride to what he was saying. He's very guileless, very humble, and I even because and I feel like even amongst Bible believer people that would think the way that we do, we might have like the right doctrine or the right thing, but it'd be very easy to take a good thing and then fill it with pride because of our intellect or our whatever. We have the right thing. So I don't feel like that with anything he's ever said. It's just kind of amazing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
like I feel like he's very sensitive to that and understanding of that, and I don't know of anyone that has really accomplished the way of handling that as well as he has. Even I can't even think of anyone outside of an arena like that. It's really hard.
But Dustin, what
to
about
come
all
up
the
with.
hatred and bigotry he spread?
Well, that was good. I would have spread it too.
Oh, anyway, let's wrap this episode up.
Yep.
Cameron, since it's been a minute, why don't you give the gospel drop and then we'll call it there.
let me eat my Bible.
Well, there is no rapture, and the White Horseman is the Antichrist, so just give up.
All right.
Anyway.
My iPad's on 8%, so this is perfect timing. Are you going to put theme music in? Because I have a hard time giving the gospel without an altar call.
I'm gonna throw it in there.
Maybe you need to walk down your hallway, go to the bathroom, and kneel. Kneel at the throne.
I can't do it with that. All right.
So funny.
Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you for listening. Dustin, David, and I, if you've made it this long, I would assume you're saved, but maybe on the off chance that you're not. Being saved is knowing where you're going when you die. And obviously being saved, if you're not saved, the Bible talks about a place called hell, and a lot of people don't talk about hell, but hell is a real place. And when I was 7 years old, I didn't want to go to hell, so I got on my knees and I asked Jesus Christ to come into my heart and save me. And through the Bible says that Jesus was God and he came down, he lived a perfect life. He was died on the cross, he rose again, and he is sitting on the right hand of the Father today, and that's the gospel. And I believe that in my heart, and I confess it with my mouth, and I ask Jesus to come into my heart and save me. And the Bible says because I did that, I am the word saved. And it's pretty simple. I know it seems like it can be a big deal, but it's very simple. The Bible calls it childlike faith, and anyone can be saved no matter what you've done, no matter what you've said, no matter if you're Dustin or you're David, you can be saved. And if you have any questions about that, we would love to answer them. I don't think we've had anyone email in to this point about that, but we would love to help you figure out if you're saved or not. With that being said, thank you for listening to the Calm Down It's Fine podcast.
It's fine.
Calm down, it's fine. Take it step by step. We're sitting on the couch, laughing at the missteps. Cam, David, and Dustin guiding our ride. Embrace the absurd, let the good